everybody, welcome into the Wolfman Gardening Channel. Today we're covering seeding peppers. And the reason why it's really important is January 21st right now. And the reason we need these peppers to go to seed right now is because these really hot varieties like your ghost peppers, your Carolina Reapers, they may take up to a month to germinate. So we got to do it now. All right, in order to grow seeds, you're going to need three things. You're going to need the right moisture, the right amount of oxygen, and of course temperature. Temperature being the most important. So when we're talking about the right moisture, you want to have the type of soil that holds the right amount of moisture. You don't want it to hold too much moisture, but you want it to hold enough moisture. And a lot of times you can get this seed starting mix that has a lot of the peat moss in it. It's got some very little vermiculite, which I really like to use, and it's got your perlite. So it's got all those combined in it. It's a light soil, it doesn't pack real bad, and it's able to get its moisture from that. It's able to get its oxygen with perlite being in there. It helps the soil breathe a little bit more, and then temperature is its own ball game on that one. So we'll get to that. So as far as the right soil, you can use starting mix. I wouldn't recommend using potting soil. Potting soil has way too many big chunks in it. It's going to end up holding too much moisture. It's going to have all those big chunks, and it's just not made for growing seed. So I'd use seed starting mix. Now the thing with seed starting mix is sometimes you get these bags and they may be sitting on a shelf for a while, and there's times that you can get some type of bacterial growth inside of that potting mix. The best thing you want to use is what I use, and that is these little peat moss pads. Now these are supposed to be very sterile. So, and I'll show you here in a minute how we prep these things and get them ready for the for seed planting. But that will cover our soil and our oxygen. And the last thing is temperature. Now, if you look right here, this is what I use. I use this seed starting mat, and with this little gauge thing here, I could regulate the temperature within 1 or 2 degrees. It'll cut the heat mat on and off to where it stays right at that ideal temperature, because temperature is extremely important, especially when trying to grow peppers from seeds. You can get by with it with your cucumbers that only have 2 or 3 day germination time, but some of these pepper plants, or pepper seeds, especially the ones that are extremely hot, like your ghost peppers, your Trinidad's, your Carolina Reapers, stuff like that, those come from a tropical region. So the soil has got to maintain extremely warm or they will not germinate. And even at these warm temperatures, some of these may take 21 to 30 days to germinate. Temperature is the most important thing because, like I said, most of these peppers come from the tropical regions. So you need that temperature to be somewhere between 75 and 85 degrees constant in order for them to germinate. So with that being said, let's go to the grow room and let's get these pepper seeds planted. We decided not to go to the grow room, and we decided, since I am a single man, we're going to do this in the kitchen. So why not, right? Better lighting. It's a little warmer in here. It's still kind of cool outside. So what we got here is, I only have 10 of these peat pods in here because it shows I only have 15 seeds in here. So I like to try to plant 2 seeds per pod, but since we only have 15, we'll see how far that goes. One thing that you really want to do is you want to use hot water. I usually use just the hot water from the tap. It's fine, but these react better and absorb better when you use hot water. They have a hard time and they struggle with cold water actually absorbing and swelling. I've got my cup of hot tap water, and what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this over the top of these. Well, Let them to where they'll absorb. And then once they start to swell and they absorb and they get where they're going to be, then we'll drain off the excess amount of water. That way we're not setting in water. All right, now that it's absorbed a lot of the water, we're going to let it cool down to room temperature, or at least where they're not extremely hot to the touch. And what I'm using here, this is just a skew stick. People use chopsticks, you can use tweezers, you can use your fingers. Doesn't really matter, as long as whatever you got to use. We're just going to peel that membrane back just a little bit, and since I only have 12 seeds, I'm probably going to plant 2 per cell, and we can always separate these out later. Fluff this up a little bit. Get it a little bit loose because we're only planting these about 1/4 inch deep. Just kind of fluffing up this peat moss and this soil a little bit to make it a little bit easier to work with when we go to put our seeds in. Like I said, we got 12 seeds. If we do 2 per deal, then that means we only need technically 6 of these. So anyway, we'll wipe that off. And now that this is still a little bit damp, you can get that little seed. I don't know if you can focus on that or not. That little seed's right on the tip of that thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put that in there about 1/4 inch. Grab this other seed, put it in there. We're going to do that the same way with all 6 of these. And the reason I like to plant more than 1 per cell, or 1 per peat moss or peat pad here, is that just in case one of them don't germinate, then we still have another one in that cell that has a chance to germinate. Not all seeds are going to germinate 100%. Usually with MI Gardener, I usually don't have any problems. You know, I still get a pretty high germination rate with them. So, but it's kind of like, you know, you can get your seeds and all that stuff at like a local box office store, or say even you know, $4 for $1 at the local Dollar General, Family Dollar. But you got to remember that these seeds may not germinate as well. All right. Now what we're going to do is just going to make sure that these seeds are covered with the soil about 1/4 inch deep. Now some people will take and soak these seeds for 30 minutes to a few hours, and I don't know, I haven't really had any difference in whether I soak them or don't soak them when I do it like this with these peat moss pellets. So, like I said, I've got just those 6 peat moss pads. So, in order to keep from wasting, I am going to take these and I'll use them, and I'll plant something else in them here in the next day or two. Alright. That's it right there. Now then what we're going to do is I'm going to get my little water. A lot of people will use a turkey baster or anything, but I bought this little thing here. I bought them at the in the kitchen section in the Dollar General, and it works really well for watering. And all I'm going to do is just lightly soak the top to make sure that I'm getting these seeds wet. And that should do it there. Alright, now then, we're going to move it over and put it on the heat pad. And like I said, remember, the heat pad is, if you want to grow peppers from seeds, you really need to have a heat pad where you can keep constant temperature of at least 75 to 85 degrees. All right, now we've got them on the heat pad. Got the temperature set. The temperature was still a little bit right at 78.9. So when it drops down to 74 degrees, the heat pad should kick on and keep it at 74 or 75 degrees. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, and I appreciate you staying until the end of the video. And now I hope you learned something about growing peppers from seed. And if you would, like, share this video, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's really going to help me out. Join me on my journey. Like I said, this is only the 4th video that we're doing, but we're going to do this all year long, and we're going to grow and grow and grow, and we're going to have a full garden. So leave some comments. Let me know what you're growing. Let me know what you're looking forward to. If you want me to make some videos, if you're unsure, let me know. We'll learn all this together. And like always, keep it growing.